Welcome to another highly questionable work week. What do you like today, Bomani?
What's worse, going 0-12 or having your car broken into to go watch a team that's going 0-12?
Dale, papi.
Was Colin Kaepernick fairly criticized for his views on Fidel Castro?
Kaepernick is playing really well. Do we care about that? No, not really. We don't care about that. Here he is at the end of the game yesterday, a yard away from tying it. That's a Cuban-American, Kiko Alonso, hitting him very hard at the end of the game there. That's taken a knee in a way that Colin Kaepernick does not enjoy taking a knee. Here's some of the backstory here. He was asked by a Miami Herald reporter about how he felt about Fidel Castro, given that he wore a Fidel Castro shirt. He said it was a Malcolm X shirt. They went back and forth and ultimately ended up celebrating the Cuban education system. They were erroneous comments. He's wrong here, but I think the criticism has gone a little bit overboard, calling him a fraud, calling him a hypocrite, as if he can't know what it's like about his fight because he's a little bit ignorant on this fight. Keep in mind, most of America is ignorant on the Cuban fight, so he wouldn't be alone on that one.
I mean, it's certainly fair to criticize Colin Kaepernick. Armando Salguero, however, he made criticisms that were certainly not fair in the course of this discussion. What Kaepernick does not seem to get is this. This is a discussion about personal pain for people in South Florida. It doesn't matter what academically you think is the case. This is somebody like Salguero who says that when he was trying to leave the country, there were 3 of them, and then the soldier there said only 2 of you can go decide which one it is. It doesn't matter what you're going to have to say about the education system when you are talking to that man. However, that man demonstrated a lack of willingness to listen that seemed to be everything he was accusing Colin Kaepernick of doing. On both sides of this, it's fair to ask whether either of them could stand to listen to the other just a little bit more.
Well, Kiko took care of business at the end of the game. That's all I gotta say. Kiko, Kiko,
that's it.
Kiko,
That's right. My father loves him. It's weird. Yeah, it is.
Kiko.
I can't imagine how many Kiko jerseys flew off the shelf on the website yesterday.
Very popular in Miami.
It was an interesting weekend around these parts.
Yeah.
Does Gronk's injury mean that the Patriots are screwed?
I mean, if I name my fantasy team the Patriots, I think I could certainly make this argument. I don't understand this. You tell us Gronk's not going to play, then you put him in, and I'll rush to put him in the lineup, and he puts up 0 points because he hurt his back. This after he had suffered a punctured lung. The bottom line is this. Gronk is the only game-breaking weapon that the Patriots have on offense. It's hard to imagine, given that their defense is fairly middle of the road, that they can really win big without a game-breaker on offense. But who else is going to win? Because the Raiders' defense gives up layup lines.
Do you realize that Gronk leads the league in yards per reception? That's a tight end. It's not Julio Jones. It's not any of the other guys you might think. It's Rob Gronkowski. And when I read on Twitter he was being taken back to the locker room by a team of trainers, I imagined it was a bunch of guys from the Seaquarium with flippers and wetsuits taking the polar bear back to train it how to get back on the field with a punctured lung. This team obviously is limited when he's not out there. But also, keep this in mind, Tom Brady didn't look right yesterday either physically. His knees seem to be bothering. That's a catastrophic one, too, for them.
Did you see Brady blocking yesterday?
Oh, this was funny. Tell me, yeah, look at this. This is a naked guy running out of the shower right here, like scurrying through. Right here, look, naked guy. Look, oh my God.
I'll tell you this, though. Number one, I think he did the job. You know why he did the job? Because even on that play, guys are afraid to hit Tom Brady because they think they're going to get banished from the league.
Right? I mean, somebody had to light him up.
If that's Cam Newton, woo, buddy.
Light him up.
Should Gary Kubiak have just played for the tie instead of the win?
He is filing this under I was being aggressive. I'm a champion. I played to win for a 62-yard field goal in overtime that ended up backfiring in his face because Kansas City got good field position and then won the game after that late. Keep in mind, if he was going to be playing for the field goal on 3rd down, he played recklessly. It didn't seem like he knew what they were doing on 3rd down with the play calling as if they were playing for the field goal. And then beyond that, the situation that you get into, if you want to play for the win, your chances of making it with your offense on 4th and 10 are better than your chances of making a 62-yard field goal in a cold environment.
You gave them the ball on the 48-yard line. On your own 48-yard line, you gave the Chiefs the ball after you allowed Alex Smith, who had a dreadful game up until the end, march down the field on you. They should have played for the tie because betting on a 62-yard field goal is every bit as ridiculous as it sounds from here. That's damn near the longest field goal in the history of the league. It's cold, and you say before the game the kicker's range was at 60, 62. That's farther, man.
We have some video here of Talib getting mad at Norwood, who made a bunch of mistakes, had the football fly off his helmet, and then Talib pushes Norwood in the back, and Norwood turns around and is going to fight him, and then realizes, well, that's Talib. I don't want to fight Talib. Talib should have done that to Kubiak when he sent out the field goal kicker.
Yeah, we wouldn't just be laughing about it.
No, probably not, but I thought I would have enjoyed it.
Hey, Kubiak, you got to have a Latino kicker to do that. Do you see Cairo Alonso, what he did there? How about this guy, Roberto Aguayo? You know, that's what you need. You need that Latino foot in there, buddy. If you don't have a Latino foot, that's going to be out of your range.
That's Cairo Santos, and can we please play the field goal that somehow went through to win this game?
Yes, that's short field goal.
That's right. He got it off the post, buddy. He hit the upright and went the other way and almost hit the other upright.
Right.
That should have been at least 10 points.
Right.
Yeah, because they needed 10.
What?
Have the Browns already broken Hugh Jackson's spirit?
The Browns are, how they say it, 0-12? Did I get that right?
Zero.
Yeah, 0. It's bad, man. They haven't won a game, and they played like 50 of them. Anyway, Hugh Jackson, I think he had to know the team was going to be bad when he took the job. I don't think he ever thought they would go 0-12, and this is a man who sounds like his team has lost 12 games in a row.
Being 0-12 is probably the hardest thing ever.
Yeah, that's bad. Now, here's the thing about taking that job knowing that the team is going to be bad. It's all fun and games until you have to take those losses week after week after week. These are competitive people, and I can't imagine how miserable it is being 0-12.
I felt so bad for him, and that moment is humanizing because we do a lot of laughing at the Browns and losing, and you see something like that. I felt bad for an assortment of people yesterday, which is not something I want around my football experience. I felt bad for Norwood when Talib did that to him. I felt bad for Kaepernick. He's been going through a lot as a symbol, and at the 1 yard he gets taken out, and then I end up feeling bad for this guy. Man, stop making me feel bad stuff and let me just watch football.
I blame LeBron. He should have been in that stadium every game. You know, he was at the Ohio State game. You know what I mean? This is the guy that needs his support. You know what I mean? That's right, Hugh. If you turn around and you don't see LeBron, you pick the telephone up and you say, you guy from Cleveland, we need your support here, LeBron. Get your here. Come on, support the team.
I will say this, knowing how I know things go for the Browns in situations like this, Hugh Jackson might want any support that he could get, just in case.
LeBron was at Game 7 of the World Series, and
he was at, sure, he was rooting for the Cleveland Indians, but that's it. They don't need his support. What the Browns, they need LeBron's support. And when the chips are down, the guy disappeared. He was at the Ohio State game.
Okay, so
you know, with all the Cavaliers crew.
Logic does not
That's
matter.
right.
It's just how do I get to the point where I get to rip LeBron on television?
This is dedication to hateration like nothing I've ever seen.
It's crazy.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable. No, I didn't say too much. I'm just giving the credit where credit is due.
Okay, he's not tipping his hand because otherwise they'll take away his vote. They won't do that to Bomani.
No, they won't take my vote away from me. I don't even want to vote at this point, to be perfectly honest.
My Son's TV show is brought to you by Adidas. It is Monday. Time for more football.
Yeah.
The Michigan get blipped by the ref.
Oh boy, Harbaugh was salty, caught himself a 15-yard penalty in the course of that game, the sort that we would eviscerate an 18-year-old for, but it's okay when you're 50. Anyway, here's Harbaugh after the game talking about a bunch of questionable calls that, well, I'd be a little salty about too if I were him.
The officiating, I'm bitterly disappointed with the officiating today. The one not called on us, on Grant Perry, clearly was being hooked before the ball got there. And the previous penalty they called on Delano Hill, the ball is uncatchable and by the receiver. See, I'm bitterly disappointed in the officiating. Can't make that any more clear. It was not. My view of the first down was it was that short.
I wish he left his Lyndon Johnson glasses on there. Like, it fits so perfectly with this whole Bo Schembechler thing that he has going. The ref didn't do Michigan any favors, certainly. I did not think, though, that they were wrong on the pass interference call. I thought the Michigan player did hold that guy down. I do think the refs were wrong about the one that wasn't called on Ohio State. In the spot, I'd have lost my mind if I were Harbaugh.
He is emotional. He is biased. He is not someone that I would say totally reasonable when he's emotional and biased. So, of course, he would see 3 disputable calls and say, all of those should have gone my way. But I felt like all 3 of them, I understand why it is we were in an area where they were judgment calls, and some of them aren't going to go your way. I was also having painkillers in the keys while I was watching the spot thing, and I didn't even notice. I thought he got it when he got it, and then he didn't get it, and then he got it.
That's the name of a drink. He is not confessing opioid addiction.
That's right. It's the name of a drink. Rum and coconut. It's delicious, and I had too many of them.
Oh, I made a lot of money on that game. Ring!
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Hey, Juanito,
Yes.
good job, buddy. Good job. I knew you were going to take care of the ref. You know, I'm telling you something. I'm telling you this is a game that I have been waiting for all season long. You know, something like this. I love to see Jim Harbaugh on that press conference. You know, I clean up. Gracias, Juanito.
Okay, there you go. Ohio State.
He fell off.
He almost broke the iPad. He was so excited about this money.
He can now afford more of them.
I blew that. Should losing to Kentucky immediately disqualify you from winning the Heisman?
Well, here's the problem with this, right? Lamar Jackson just lost a high-scoring game against Kentucky. He did his job reasonably well. It's not his fault that Louisville can't play any defense, but I don't know who else you give it to. Here's the problem with that, though. There's never in the history of the Heisman been a guy who's had 2 back-to-back performances like this late in the campaign who actually wins the Heisman. So I don't know which way to vote right now.
Yeah, but how many people had a resume like Jackson put up in the first 10 games of the season? The dude's a quarterback and he's run for 1,800 yards. Running for 1,800 yards as a running back typically gets you the Heisman Trophy. Yes, they lost to Kentucky. Quietly, Kentucky is 7-5. There's no one else to give this trophy to, period.
Well, I don't know. There is one that is creeping on the rankings now. Deshaun Watson, he's hanging in there tough. I don't know what to tell you. Deshaun Watson is my type of guy.
Well, it sounds like somebody at this table has made up his mind what to do with his Heisman vote.
Yeah, isn't that something, huh?
Yeah.
No, I didn't say too much. I'm just
Okay.
giving the credit where credit is due.
Okay, he's not tipping his hand because otherwise they'll take away his vote. They won't do that to Bomani.
No, they won't take my vote away from me. I don't even want to vote at this point, to be perfectly honest. I had a chance to try to get a vote, and I don't want it.
Who's got the brighter future, Texas or LSU?
Tom Herman, your agent did amazing work. We weren't sure the Texas job was going to open up, but nothing opens it faster than Texas losing to TCU and word getting out that Tom Herman has agreed to a deal with LSU. So now we have Tom Herman, the hottest name in coaching at Texas in what could be the best job in the country. And on the other side, LSU being coached by Ed Orgeron. And if any of you think you know how this is going to go with Ed Orgeron, you are lying, right? So yeah, Texas probably has a better future because we know this roster is loaded and we feel good about Herman. Maybe Ed Orgeron is Dabo Swinney for that job, or maybe he's Ed Orgeron.
I do feel like Texas, beyond having a better support group among its boosters, a richer support group among its boosters, has also been left a whole lot in the cupboards by the guy you just fired, Charlie Strong, who probably felt like he was going to get 4 years to get that straightened out. I think Texas is the better job for both of those reasons.
I kind of like it. You know, I got a tough voice. You know, he looks like a guy that is not going to take no for an answer. He's going to be a coach. He's going to push them to their limit. He's going to get the best out of them. You know, he's a guy that is going to go into every game swinging, you know, and yelling and screaming. And, you know, he's a great motivator. He's a guy that says, well, this is it. It's today or tomorrow. Do or die. Pushing all the chips right to the middle of the table, you know.
What kind of
That's
motivational?
right.
It's today or tomorrow. It's not the cliche.
I got it wrong? I'm trying to build him up.
I know.
You want to see more on my living room floor? Play Nintendo with Sis and Nino. Pick up my phone, say Papa not home. Sex all night, man. In the moon. Spin my V. Smoke on my weed. Tattoo on. Saying B.I.G. Now check it. You want to be my man squeeze, baby? Don't you? You want to give me what I need, baby? Won't you? Questionable is broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that will be wearing sweatpants for the foreseeable future. Do you question?
Till they make me stop, you give us topics and events, and we question.
For different reasons.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you question if kickers should be able to give press conferences?
They're not real football players. They are treated less humanly than real football players. This one is 27 for 27. He plays for the Ravens. He's Justin Tucker. He made 3 50-yarders yesterday. What do you have to say?
You guys smell it? It smells like up dog.
What's up, dog?
Nothing much, man. So do you. All right, let's get started.
He's so pleased with himself. So pleased with himself. What? You don't like that joke?
Like, I feel like he's been waiting his whole life to get to a press conference, and that was what he couldn't wait to break out. You know how many times they had to explain to me what this was? Like, normally we watch these things for the first time with you. I'm sitting here like, what's up, dog? And it was going to turn into an Abbott and Costello thing, because that was whack.
I know, but if they gave you the opportunity to give a press conference, you'd totally be up there saying Bofa. You'd be up there doing
That's much funnier than what's up, dog. In fact, my dream in life is to get any of my colleagues with both.
Do you question if Von Tess Birdleaf is tough?
Perfect is his name. I don't know what it became. I don't think that's any better. Yes, he's tough. Under what circumstances are we not making him tough? What do we got?
Flacco working out of the gun. Flacco in trouble, and he is dumped. Dunlap getting to the quarterback.
He used Steve Smith's reputation against him.
That was a flop
And some
situation.
issues.
Total flop.
Well, and not just a flop, but he went from menacing and stand over you into flop in the drop of a dime. That's like wrestling quality right there.
That said, though, if you were going to be that kind of afraid of somebody, Steve Smith would be a good place to start.
You guys have talked about that game twice, and you haven't talked about the best play.
What play?
I know Andy Dalton didn't make it. Oh, yeah, where they run out the game with holding in the end zone.
Holding on everybody. This is what football should be right here. By the way, that's what the Bengals offense feels like when A.J. Green is out. That's how it moves.
I got to say, though, I feel like if you're the Bengals and they decide they're just going to hold you to the end of the game, you got the right to just knock the hell out of somebody. That's dirty pool.
Time to play the game that they still has the meat sweats from last Thursday. See or no?
Tell us what's on television tonight. He'll forever be intrigued.
On Comcast Bay Area, Hawks and Warriors.
Yeah, I want to watch all things Warriors. They played against the Wolves. Did they do something amazing? They've only lost twice this season. Oh! That is JaVale McGee, rim protector. That is the rim protector for the Warriors. That was Andrew Wiggins dunking on him. Bomani, are you intrigued?
As impressive as that dunk was, we have to be honest. It's only in here because it happened to JaVale McGee. And that's why JaVale McGee hates us.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. But listen, the producers of this show are so unfair to JaVale. You know, they showed that play, but they didn't show this play.
Oh,
There you are. Head off a block.
All right, my father being
That's right.
fair.
I got your back, JaVale. I got your back.
somebody loves you here, JaVale, even if you act like you didn't know him when you saw him in that store on South Beach.
That's right.
JaVale did ignore him, and my father walked away muttering curses about him.
On Bravo, Vanderpump Rules.
No, all right, go ahead and give us a clip.
Friends, family, and loved ones, I want to welcome all of you today to celebrate one of life's greatest moments. Speak to each other with words of appreciation.
You've been throwing rocks. Why? Because I call you like call it as I see it.
You must stand resolute in your love for each other.
I'm just scared to commit to someone.
You put a ring on my finger, so stop throwing my face.
Strive for harmony.
You don't ever listen.
When you go to the dark side, it's scary as hell.
Find the funny in life.
Cool, Tom. Talk about how doesn't work either.
It's great.
Love freely given has no beginning and has no end.
I'm done with Katie. I'm not marrying her.
Tom, do you take Katie to be your wife, holding only unto her forevermore?
I mean, all right, see the juxtaposition, love and poetry, and also you're impotent, and I'm storming out of this car. Bomani, are you intrigued?
Words of wisdom. The worst reason to get married is because it's already paid for. You can always get more money.
Bobby, are you intrigued?
See, I'm very triple. Listen, looks like that guy's getting some cold feet there. You got to make a decision. It's now or never. You got to make a decision right there. All the chips are down. You got to go for broke, no matter what the experts say. You got to give it a try.
What is he talking about? He's giving sports analysis.
Also, what was that dog doing there? He wasn't invited to this.
Good question.
That's right.
Why
Was he
there a
carrying
dog
the
there?
rings or something
Yes.
like that? What happened if he pooped in the middle of the whole play ceremony? That's a possibility.
I mean, it is a possibility.
And there are no bags to pick it up or anything like that, and somebody got to come in, and all that good stuff. It could happen. Believe me, it could happen. Dogs are tramps. They're tricky.
That looked like a wedding I'd never be invited to.
Dogs are tricky.
Like I didn't know what to do with that, all right?
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Gracias. See you mañana.
If not only that, if he poops, if you're holding him and he goes, he on you, then he wears your tuxedo, and then you got to worry about the tuxedo, returning your tuxedo because you didn't buy the tuxedo probably, and then you got to pay extra money, and then you send it to the cleaner, and if you cannot remove the stain, you're stuck with a big bill, and then if you don't have money, then if the credit card bounces, then it's going to be a major problem. You have a crisis in your hands because of a dog in a wedding.
How did you find that many and thens? All you had to say was, you've got a dog at a wedding.